So markets are down 2%. The US Israel versus Iran war has escalated. Many of our Indians and our global friends are stuck in the Middle East. It's a very tense situation. We don't know where the war is headed, how far or how deep it will go. But in these times, there is fear, there is anxiety, especially about the stock markets, about your investments, your SIPs. And I'm sure you're worried, and you may end up making a wrong decision. But this video is not for you. This is for your wife. This is for all wives who have a big role to play in this time. So I encourage all the women. If you're watching, if your wife is not watching, get her on board. And wives, if you're watching, this is a video that you carefully watch till the end and make those decisions. That will help your husband's physical health, mental health, your wealth, and your greatest wealth is your relationship, your marriage. I trust me, this is going to improve all the different aspects that I've talked about. Hello, I am Franky Fernandes. I'm the founder of Harmony and Money. It's a community where there are courses and there are life coaching sessions on money and building relationship. How both these interplay. I'm a certified financial planner, a marriage coach. I also help senior executives in their career. So without further ado, I would like you to watch this video. This is a short video, but this will help you in some ways, especially in these trying times. So let's get into the video. When a war is declared, or if there's any bad news, the first thing that is reflected is the stock market. Even the previous wars, the Russia-Ukraine war, COVID, and all the other wars and all the other market news, sentiments bring down the market. And even as I'm talking to you, the markets have been down 1 to 2% today. It had fallen up to 2%, BSC and Nifty. And the first thing that any investor or most investors do is they check their portfolio. They look at their mobile and check their portfolio, either their mutual fund portfolio or their stock portfolio. Obviously, stock portfolio is first seen. You see the live market and you see that your portfolio is crashed. And there are a few emotions that come when this happens. Number one, you feel disappointed because you want always to see your stocks going up, your portfolio always going up. That gives you a lot of pleasure and the dopamine rush. You feel disappointed. And when the markets are crashing because of a war, the top reason that we all have is fear. And right now, even as I'm talking to you, some of our friends are stuck in the Middle East countries. Some of our citizens of India and citizens of many countries are all stranded in Dubai or many other places. So there is stress, there is tension, so there is fear. Probably they have far more fear, but sitting here in India, there is no less fear. There are many fears, but when you see a portfolio going down, there's fear. There is anxiety. What will happen? And in extreme cases, such things can also affect mental health, especially if you have a lot of money into the stock markets. Probably all your money is into stock markets. And you feel you have lost. And there are losses running into lakhs, crores. Yes. One can even have mental health issues. And so, honestly speaking, there is nothing pleasant. There is panic, there is fear, there is anxiety. And in worst cases, it affects your health, not just mental health, but also your physical health. And world over, and also in India, especially in India, most of these investing decisions are taken by husbands. I'm not saying women are not taking, in fact, right now, women are taking more interest. They are taking the initiative. A lot of the women are investing, but by and large, most homes, I'm sure 70 to 80% of homes, it is the husband who makes the decisions or the husband who thinks he understands. It is the husband who mostly goes through those emotions. And in those emotions, one can make mistakes. And many investors in the past, even in the past, have made mistakes. They have sold in panic, they have feared, there is anxiety, there are all kinds of emotions, and they end up making mistakes. Now, I'm not just a money coach, I'm also a marriage coach. And I understand what's going on in the family. And when a husband makes such decisions, it is it doesn't affect him alone. His money decisions will affect his entire family. First, beginning with his wife, who will take the brunt, and then the kids, maybe their future. So it's very important that husbands should not be left to make these decisions alone. And I encourage at this point in my video all the wives, if you're watching, or husbands, if you're watching and your wives are not watching, include your wife, because these are very, very important aspects of investing for a family. And I can tell you with evidences and cases after cases where men have made decisions and they've made mistakes and the entire family has to suffer. So, what can a wife do? I think the most important thing the wife must have is knowledge. So, she has to deal with both ways logically to tell the husband understands logic, and they also have to be the emotional cushion, the support. And you have two important roles to play. So, first, to speak logically, you must know. You must know the history. And let me share a few minutes about historically what has happened when there have been wars. Pre war, during the war, and post war, what has happened to the markets. Probably that will help you and your husband to understand. So, if you talk to your husband in this language, you will get it. So, what is that? Let's take a look. Look at your screen. So, here in this table, if you see here, here is the wars, initial fall, and 6 month move after event, and main reasons it went up later. Very important. And what I'm going to talk to you is about far bigger and major wars compared to this currently, which is happening, which is the Iran and the US-Israel war. Right, World War One, Dow Jones fell by 30% in 6 months, but it rebounded back by 88%. Right, it more than compensated the losses. Markets reopened after closure, panic subsided, spending boosted industrial production and profits. Right? There is always a reason it goes up. World War II, brief initial volatility. In fact, market actually rose up 15% with later dips because of the Pearl Harbor bombing. But over war years, the market trended higher. By 1945, Dow was roughly 50% above 1939 levels. That's huge in those days. 6 month windows after big shocks often recovered losses. Massive fiscal stimulus, and there are many other reasons here. Right? Korean War, short-term drop, and then 11% it went up in 1 year, and 3 to 5 year returns were strong. Again, US economy stayed strong. I'll rush through this because what is important is the essence. Multiple drawdowns during the Vietnam War, but eventually it went up 43% total. Iraq invasion, you had roughly 20 to 30% gain following 12 months. Russia Ukraine war, huge sell off in the European global equities. Even India fell, but eventually it all recovered. And even the Indian specific wars like the Kargil, the Parliament attack, the Mumbai 26/11, and the Uri surgical strikes and the Pulwama, all these, if you look at the stock markets, they actually fell by 1, 2%, 5%, whatever. But if you look at it, 34.5% 3 months and 31.6 months 6 months later, mixed around 7 at 3 months, modest recovery by 6 12 months, 12 month return. Here, here there's an exception because of the global tech bust, which was a far bigger, greater news than the war itself. But if you look at the others, 82% gain here, and then here 4.3% at 6 months and 15.6% later. And so every war, if you look at, so every war, there have been there have been crashes, primarily because of sentiments. There are no other reasons. It is the reason is fear. The biggest reason is fear. And a lot of the retail investors sell. Even some of the FIIs probably take their money back from the emerging markets because they feel there is a tension there. So they take it to the Western countries where they live. So this is very common. But if you look at the the markets post-war, 6 12 months later, the markets are always up. In fact, the biggest evidence is that today the market is 81,000 or 82,000 BSC. When all these wars happened, probably it was 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. See, now the markets have gone up. So eventually the markets go up. But even after the war, especially, they go up, they spike. So what does this tell you? This is what to tell every husband that, hey, listen, my husband, markets will eventually go up. History tells us, and this war, especially the Iran versus US Israel war, is not such a big war, at least right now. And sure, there will be some solutions soon coming up. And this is quite common. So, this is the number one big piece that you can always share with your partner, with your husband. And husbands, if you're watching, please remember this is what. Now, as you all know, uh, most of us know that when the markets are down, they're the best time to invest. So, what you should do as a family, and this is something that every couple should discuss, and especially wives should encourage, is to stay invested, number one. Number two, if required, increase your investments, increase your SIPs. Because when the markets are down, these are the best opportunities to invest. Now, I know this is the time when you are worried, when you're fearing. You don't have to time markets. Just focus on your SIPs. Increase your SIPs. The SIP dates will take care automatically. Take out the emotions out of your investing process. That is the best thing to do. So stay put. Even if you don't want to invest more, it is fine, but do not sell. Stay invested. Number two, if you have the courage, go ahead and increase your investment. In fact, this is the time when your real risk profile is tested. Do a risk profile. I've included a link in this video in the description. Check that and find out what is your risk profile. In fact, there are other assessments also to find out how closely are you aligned in your money and relationship, right? You can do these assessments. It'll help you, especially the risk profile will help you where you stand. Because based on that, you will eventually make decisions. If you have a lot of equities and if your risk profile is low, you will fear naturally. So this is the time to adjust your portfolio and see that. In fact, this is the time when you have to reassess your portfolio. Don't do anything, but this is when you will know whether you are in the right risk profile. If your equities are low, if you're worried, and if your equities are low, which means it is right. Because only those who can take high risk will take any action of investing or increasing their SIP. So find out what is your risk profile. And if you want to know more about the risk profile, watch my video on announcing the right mutual fund not for you. That is a good video to understand this whole aspect of risk profile. And another thing, very important thing is if you have all your financial goals in place, you have no worry. You don't have to even think about this. You don't have to worry about what's happening in the market. If your goals are in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years for your children's education, their wedding, your retirement, you don't even have to worry. Continue to invest. And if you want to know more about the financial goals, watch my video on DIY financial goals, common financial goals. That will help you. Actually, you can download the worksheet and you can put in your numbers and it will help you how to invest, stay invested when you have your financial goals. So that was the logic side. What about the emotional side? You are the biggest emotional anchor, a cushion for your husband. This is a time when you can build a strong relationship and protect your husband, protect your wealth, protect your portfolio, and also strengthen your relationship. So, what you could do, this is the time to talk to your husband. Research shows that if you have a supportive partner, life partner, 20 to 30% of the conflicts actually come down and you have better outcomes during volatility. So it's very important. You have a very important role to play. So what you should do now that you're aware what's happening in the market, there could be wrong decisions that your husband may make. He may not tell you in a hurry. So the first thing is sit down and decide on rules. Discuss with your husband and make a commitment that he will not make any rash decisions. No decisions. In fact, this is the time not to make any decisions, except probably for investing new money, provided He knows what he is doing, provided he has the knowledge, provided you see him confident and aware of the market. If you see fear, anxiety, and volatile emotions, the first thing you have to tell him is stop. No action taking. Make a commitment. Go and check the portfolio. Go and see the portfolio. Understand for yourself how he's feeling, why is he feeling. Find out what has happened to your portfolio. Probably the way he's looking at it, uh, your way could be very different, and you may offer a new perspective to him. Find out, look at your portfolio, understand where he has invested. What are the stocks or what are the mutual funds he has invested? Take a stock, understand, talk to him. Once you talk and relate, actually that can be a calming effect, bring a calming effect on him because he has somebody to talk to. And if you have never been doing in your home something called money dates, probably you should watch more of this channel and a lot of things that I'm going to upload on money dates and relationships, because it is so important. You will actually strengthen your relationship if you talk to your husband often, have money dates. And after this discussion, ensure that you keep a check, keep discussing. Probably now, because of this happening, discuss every week. And then gradually you can start discussing every month. But right now, because of what is happening, it is best to keep a check. And now you can look at the screen. What are some of the actions that you can take? How it can help your husband? And what is the expected impact? This is based on research, based on various sources that I've collected, and you can see this. So this is the action for wife. Limit screen time. Hide news for 24 to 48 hours post drop. Make a commitment that you will hide. How it helps husband? Stops doom scrolling, restores rational thinking. What is the expected impact? Anxiety comes down by 30%, better sleep and decisions. So I think this is so important. You can do this when you are young. When you grow older, your husband is not going to listen to you. But I still say do try. But when you're young, you can actually discuss these things. And if you both are earning and both of your money is invested, it is very important that you bring this up, because a lot of money is at stake. Not that if only your husband is earning, you have no right. You have still all the right. Emotional validation. Tell him this feels scary. I get it. I understand it. It reduces defensiveness, builds team versus blame. You are one team. And conflicts come down, trust goes up. Enforce playbook. Gently remember our rule. No changes till so and so date. No touching the portfolio. Blocks impulse sells. 80% regret post recovery. Many people regret after recovery. Even during COVID, many men made decisions for which they regretted. So portfolio is protected, regret avoided. Distraction and self-care. Plan walks, prayer, or non-finance dates. That itself is good, therapeutic. Go for a walk, talk, let him express, listen to him, right? That will help. It will lower cortisol, prevent spillover to marriage and kids. And his mental health will be stable, your relationship will be stronger. And finally, perspective anchor. Share history shows recovery into 3 to 6 months, exactly what we discussed. Use your charts. Counter recency, counters recovery bias, reminds of long horizon. And stay invested captures rebound. So you can do a lot of things. One side, you can speak logic. The other side, you can actually be an emotional cushion. And in all these things, you'll help not just your money, your wealth, but also your relationship. You'll grow stronger. Trust me, I have helped. I have talked to many families. I know I have researched enough. I've written books on marriage, so I know what I'm talking about. It's so important that you take interest, because money can actually discussions on money can actually build your relationship. If you don't discuss and leave it, it can even affect your relationship. Do you want to grow in this relationship? Then you must intervene, because this is going to help his mental health, his physical health. It'll going to help your wealth, right? And it'll improve your relationship manifold by leaps and bounds. And he will thank you when the markets go up. When the markets go up, remind him of what discussions you all had, and he'll be ever thankful to you. Friends, remember, all husbands and wives, especially husbands at this moment, I want to tell you, do not do things alone at this point in time. Include your wife, talk to your wife, explain to your wife. I'm trust me, she will give you great perspectives. I'm married to a woman who is into paramedical, who doesn't have any background in stocks or mutual funds or money. But I have found her so helpful, so helpful. So don't underestimate this. Talk to your spouse, and trust me, things will be far better. So I hope this short video will help you, especially during this crisis time, this war time, so that you will make the right decisions. And let's hope that our countrymen and all the people globally who are stuck in the Middle East will soon be free and come back. This is our hope, that this war will end soon. I hope you like this video, and please give me a like. Tell me in the comment box what you liked, what you didn't like. Is there anything more you would like to know? If you would like to know more, probably I can share and make a new video. And if you are new to this channel and if you have never subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe. Until I see you, bye for now.